Yo, we're live. I think we're live. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. We're getting started. This is day three, everybody. Day three of building an XAI Copilot for helping us engage and build everything. So let me make sure that my audio is good. An XAI Copilot. Okay, we are good to go. We got our coffee here. Good afternoon, good morning, good night. Depends on when you guys are. Depends on where you guys are. We're gonna get started in just a second. So today's day three, and we have some things planned as well. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys in the loop about everything that's going on so far. So let's get right to it. So let me just kind of go over every day. I like to just start with a brief overview for everybody, what we're building, why we're doing this. So let's go to our Firefox here. And this is the main page. Let me go to our GitHub PR, but just as a brief overview of what are we building, we're building an XAI Copilot that allows you to scout, essentially scouts different amount of threads on X, and once it finds a couple of threads that it thinks are good for you to interact with in order to help you grow or find builders. So whatever agenda you have. So the abstract thing here is you create an agenda, then you go ahead and search for relevant threads that are relatively recent. And once the thread is here, we're gonna get rid of this draft reply part. The whole point is it kind of gives you a summary of what it's about. So a builder expresses fear of copycats, blah, blah, blah. So you could open this on X, and it makes it easy. So this is relatively recent, maybe an hour ago. This is an interesting thread, and but if you interact with this, you will get some responses, maybe a follow. So it's really nice for engagement. Again, the whole point of this X-Copilot, we're gonna actually deprecate the reply part completely. We just want to focus on the first part of this funnel, which helps you. It's essentially a curated for you algorithm. So instead of scrolling through the For You page, getting triggered by some AI slop and engagement posts, you have to go click not interested or show less of this post. You don't need to do that anymore. I mean, you still can use X as you should. You should use X to interact with, if you want to like comments or followers. But if you really want to grow your X or kind of use a certain agenda, this is perfect. A perfect tool, open source, GitHub. We're building this public. So let me go ahead and just go over a couple of things that I have done overnight. I just wanted to kind of keep things pushing forward. We do have 2 open PRs right here. Make sure you guys can see. Yes, they are churning. We're building this with Cursor. We're building this with Mergestorm and Graphite for now, but we're going to deprecate Graphite. So right now we're still using Graphite here. Right here we have these 2 PRs going. We use Graphite as well for our other projects. And we're just currently waiting on one of these PRs to finish churning. So we got the Cyclone that added the fix, and we're just waiting on the Vortex to review. Once that is clean, we are going to merge this PR. It's going to get another review, and then we're good to go. In the meantime, let me see how far we've gone. I'll just go over something that I've done overnight. We go over the closed PR. So I did move forward a little bit. I did not add anything big. So we just did a couple of polishes on the front end. We added a hamburger menu for the settings like this. Again, you see here it's not aligned properly. So we can fix that later. We had a hamburger menu with a settings option. Now the settings option just allows you to kind of control a tiny bit of how you want to filter out the threats. Me personally, I don't like to read long walls of text. I just don't like it. So the idea of this X-Copilot is to direct your attention into posts that are useful for you, interesting to you, and help you grow your X. You don't need to. Your attention is precious, obviously, right? We're tired. I'm personally tired of just getting baited by random X posts. One of my X posts that I don't like the most is the ones where it asks you to share a link of your SaaS or whatever it is. Everyone shares their links, but nobody responds, and it just ruins your X account because you're spamming links. Stuff like this really pisses me off. So I created this personal X Copilot to just completely eliminate all sorts of nonsense. And as you can see here, it will identify a good thread. The lower the number, the better it is. It's a lower AI slop score. This definitely does not feel like AI slop. The guy used an emoji, no EM dashes, stuff like this is really nice. Again, this is open source. It uses your X session API key, so no API, or sorry, it uses your X session cookie, no API keys. You don't have to pay for anything. You only pay for the inference. In my case, I'm using DeepSeek. You could change this to maybe Google Gemini if you want 100% free, which we might do in the future. So let's just, before we get back into Cursor, again, the main blocker here is we have our PRs. That is one PR. Okay, perfect. So now it merged. So this kind of works. I like to show you guys my workflow, how I do everything. So this PR looks like here it checked off. Now the way this works, this is a stack of PRs. We have two PRs, 41 and 42. They're both part of the same stack. So if you go to Graphite here, you see it's 1 out of 2 and 2 out of 2. The way you could do this, you could just merge this as a stack, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go in the bottom one. We're going to merge this one by itself first. Because what this does, it's going to merge this PR, and it's going to rebase this top one. As you can see, it's waiting on the down stack. So if we check to see what's going to happen here, it's going to close this. It's going to merge this PR, and then it's going to go to the top one on the same stack. It's going to retarget its base. So it's going to rebase it. As you can see right here, what happened is it changed the base to the temporary base for Graphite. It pushed all these two commits. Usually it's a force push. I'm not sure. Yeah, force push. And then it just switches the branch back. So it kind of puts it underneath the PR. It puts all the commits underneath the PR and then retargets the branch. What this causes, the thing that it happens is you have the bottom stack PR's code kind of merge into the top one, as you can see here. So because we had this is a different PR here, so it ended up stacking it. This is going to trigger an additional review because you're technically stacking two PRs on top of each other, and you could enable this or disable this, but it's going to trigger an additional review to make sure that everything is good. Now, you could just merge both of these, but you're going to miss out on this additional review, and we're still working on pretty much optimizing this. The other thing with Vortex is it's only has one lane right now. So our code review pipeline agent, it only has one lane for now. But tomorrow and actually tonight, we're expanding it to have 2 lanes. So we're creating 2 instances, 2 workers for the review agent. And after creating 2 workers, it's going to be really easy to expand to 3 and 4. So we're just going to be waiting a couple of minutes here for this agent to pick up the review. Let me check our, yeah, we have 1 lane, 3 queued, 1 in progress. So this is going to take a minute. It's okay. While we wait for this to churn, again, this is closing out this issue here. Looking at our issues, some of the past things we've addressed, just added some rate limiting, polished the UI a little bit, persisted the results in memory, and we write to a JSON file. So we're not using Supabase, we're just using in-memory storage plus JSON persistence, and we're just optimizing it a little bit. So nothing too crazy. We haven't done anything crazy overnight. Everything remains the same. So we have about 1 hour, something like this. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next feature that I would like to implement. And that is going to be, we're going to get rid of the whole draft reply. So initially, my idea was to essentially create this draft reply to help you figure out what to say. But this kind of really goes into the area of like maybe against TOS, because now you have AI creating responses. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. It's going to save us credits. The whole point is you still want to have a human in the loop. You still want to use your brain to understand what they're talking about, and you want to use your own voice to make a post. But the AI can help you as much as possible. It can identify the thread, and it can actually tell you what it's about, what to think about. So you still need to use your brain and attention to interact with this, but it makes it as a co-pilot a lot easier. So this will be the first thing. We want to make it so that we're manually making the responses. I think that's very important to align with X's TOS and just make sure that if you are using this tool, you're not going to be tempted into just copy pasting AI responses. So how do we handle this? Let's go back to Cursor. I've been talking a lot, so let's go back to Cursor and we'll start handling the first thing. So the first thing we want to do is deprecate this draft reply feature. So we're going to go through our usual workflows. First thing we're going to do is open up an issue. So we're using Cursor Grok 4.5 because I ran out of all my usage credits for Opus, but I will show you guys a cool trick maybe in the next one where you can actually use your local Claude Max account and have Cursor call the Claude Max account to use Opus or Kimi or Grok usage. But for now, we're just going to use Grok Cursor 4.5 because this is pretty simple stuff. So we're going to raise an issue to deprecate the whole drafting replies part. We don't want to do anything like this. So, I mean, I could actually just speak this up, I believe. Okay, so this was a little bit more of a rambling, I guess. I rambled a little bit. Essentially, I just said, let's raise an issue to deprecate the whole draft. As you can maybe could have read through this, just raise an issue to deprecate this whole AI draft stuff so that we can simply move forward. Because the next step we had planned was to make this agent a little bit smarter by adding some durable memory. But this makes it so that we need to find a way to actually track the memories, and this has to do with once we identify a thread we want to interact with, we need to somehow find a way to store it as store the user's response, whether we grab it ourselves or whether we just input this into a field. So now we have this issue. I can read the issue just really quickly. I'm just gonna see. It didn't really identify the PRs, how many PRs we need, but this seems like a pretty simple stuff, just deprecating some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and make a plan. Okay, make a plan to resolve this issue via a single PR or a stack of PRs. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. I keep it simple. We're just going to create an issue, and now we're gonna have Grok make a plan to address this issue with either one PR or second PR. I'm pretty sure one PR is gonna be more than enough. So we're just gonna wait for this. And meanwhile, while we're waiting for this, let me check my PR. Did it ever clear? Let's see if this cleared so we can kind of push forward here. So, all right, we did retarget this, but I believe now it's still going to be doing some, oh, it looks like it checked off on it. Okay, that's good. So now that it checked off on it, we can go ahead and merge the full stack finally. You can do it through Graphite or you can do it through GitHub. When it comes time for the final one, you don't need, it doesn't matter. Also, Graphite, we're probably no longer going to be using Graphite in the next 2 or 3 days, probably as soon as tomorrow. We're going to be doing all of this through our Mergestorm dashboard. Because the only reason we're using Graphite is for the PR stacking feature, and this is something we already implemented ourselves. We're just adding some front-end stuff to make it a lot easier. So for now, we're still using Graphite, and we do support Graphite, but it's no longer needed. All right, so this is good. Let's go back to Cursor. This is tricky to make sure I remember to switch the window. So we have Grok made the plan already with the issue here. And since we already merged the previous PR, it should automatically sync up before opening this new one. So we're just going to go ahead and have Grok make this first PR. Now this PR addresses an issue where we're just deprecating the draft reply feature. So meanwhile, while it's building this, we can just go switch back to our actual product here and try to use it a little bit. So let me see how it actually works. If I restart this, it should still have the same thread, maybe because we restarted it. Regardless, let's go ahead and there's still a couple of UI issues I want to address. Obviously, like this is pretty messy. We've built most of this with Grok 4.5, Grok Cursor 4.5. We haven't used Opus for too many things. So let's see, Cursor, Grok is still building the PR, and now we're just gonna see how this works or doesn't work. I think I have to restart production for this. Let's switch back and check the logs and see what's going on through the logs, because so the way I have this set up, we have the logs out here, X session configure. We don't have any errors, that's good. And we're continuing to build this. So it looks like we did not find any threads yet. Interesting. Looks like we have some issues. We'll see and tackle them. Let's go ahead and click Start Scout again. It looks like it's searching. Applying cooldown. Okay, so we found only one thread. I mean, one is better than none. It's 13 hours ago, so it's not ideal. So we've got a thread. It says Builder shares progress on AI sales assistant for small business, likely to generate interest and feedback before a demo launch. Let's see. Open the thread. We still have some fine tuning to do, but so this guy shared some Telegram bot. Been building an AI sales assistant for small business this week. She handles product questions and pricing questions over chat. No human needed for the back and forth. Still refining her memory across the long conversation, but of course working. Full demo coming soon. Yeah, but we could just try to help support the builder. So it looks like, how much is the black leather bag? That one is 50K. Pure quality. You go love AM. ABEG, reduce AM. ABEG, which one are you eyeing? Tell me so I know how to talk to my manager too. I mean, this is interesting. Yeah, automating, yeah, becoming the industry standard. Yeah, I just kind of followed up with a reply that's just kind of confirms what he's doing. I try to be like a little bit supportive, if that makes sense. Now, the other gap we have for our X-Copilot is we need to find a way to just maybe with a click of a button. Right now we could mark interacted, and we still need to actually bucket this and find a way to track it better. So this is definitely the next step. It's more like observability, and this is something we are going to work on. Verify session. This is interesting. So we're still, and the menu is still a little bit messed up, but overall it's working decent. We are filtering the threads better, so we can go ahead and find another thread once you reply to one. I think it's only going to find one or two threads because it's really, it filters it by length and it filters it by content. So this time it found a little bit more items. So again, here's an item that it skipped. It got a score of 75. I wonder why. Let's go ahead and open this on X. I'm just wondering, why did it get such a low score? Hey, builders and founders, software engineers here building solo, almost just left. Yeah, this seems like rage bait. Got some money, 999 left. Got the emojis there. It just doesn't, the AI is correct in detecting this is not. See, and when it says the tags, engagement farming, engagement bait, and generic question. Very good. I'm actually enjoy this. So let's look at the one that it did tag as a genuine insight sharing on agenda. A post argues that AI has collapsed. So something like that is an opinion. Perfect. See, this is the perfect amount of content we want to read. We don't want to read a simple, small question. Share me your AI SaaS products. Tired of this. And we also don't want to read 1,000-word threads. We're just not interested in it. It's not something I'm personally interested in. If you're interested in this, you can go to the settings page and set your maximum characters to 2,000 characters or 5,000 characters. So this is interesting, but it's still a little bit annoying because I have to actually read this and understand what he's talking about. So the AI helps. AI post that argues that AI has collapsed the cost structure of building software, enabling solo builders to ship at team speed, likely to provoke discussion. Free time to test isn't the only shift here. It's a proof that the entire is a response to AI agents can write code many times faster than human. What that means for you? A solo person cannot ship code. I mean, that used to require a small team, which means the barrier for launching a project capital is headcount, just knowing what to build. Yeah, so my next follow-up response to this is a very common thing people talk about where, yes, building is solved. Yes, building is solved. So now the leverage or the wedge is distribution. See, this kind of is nice. So yeah, we're confirming that building is indeed has been solved. That's my opinion. And my thing is, I think distribution is what a lot of founders. There's like the bottleneck because everybody is able to build anything cool, but people have a hard time actually sharing it with anyone else or getting any sort of traction. So distribution is the next thing. So these are getting a little bit better. It's almost like a for you algorithm. It gets a little bit better. We can actually use the product. Let's go back to our cursor and see where we at. And also let me make sure I order some food so we can get some food going. Okay, so let me see where we at with cursor. It looks like it did do the PR number 44. So let's switch it back to Firefox and see our PR. Let me close all these tabs. So PR number 44. Okay, did it actually check off yet? Yes, really nice timing. So we did get a all clear. And since this is a single PR, we could do this through Graphite, but we're just gonna merge it directly in GitHub. So remember, this is removing the draft reply. Now, you could do this, oh no, you could do this manually, but you could do this manually, but we're gonna go ahead and just ask it to do, I mean, I could just this. Okay, all I did was just tell it to sync up with main because we merged the PR and now I'm told it to just restart production. I could do this myself technically, PM2 manager restart, but I'm just gonna have Cursor do this for me for now. Let me make sure I'm on the correct page. I am not on the correct page. Sorry guys, here we go. Now we're on the correct page. I need to get two screens set up so I can make sure I'm on the correct window. So I just told Cursor to sync up with main because we merged this PR, and now we're just gonna restart everything and test again. And I believe we should start thinking about this durable memory that I wanted to introduce. This now is a good time because it allows us to kind of still keep things lean, and looks like there's a couple of changes it has to do. So because it made some changes, as I'm seeing here, we're gonna make it do a follow-up PR. Please make a follow-up PR because it seems you've made some changes. Changes to fix regression. So that's another thing. If it ever has to make changes sometimes to fix some regression, then it's always good to just make a follow-up PR. You could just push this straight to main, but I'm just gonna have it do a follow-up PR. Meanwhile, we can start scoping out this durable memory plan. So the idea is we are going to have a way for the agent to remember our interactions. So this is a kind of a multi-step process. How does it remember interactions? So obviously the first step through our flow is we're just going to scout for some threads that we want. Again, there's a tons of layout shift and I'm really not happy with any of this, but we will polish this up off stream. So there's not going to be a layout shift. And this is not centered. Little things like this bother me. But I'm not going to waste time on the little things on stream. We're going to try to do the big picture stuff. So also, we have another issue where it starts scouting for threads, and sometimes it might not find any threads. In this case, I would like it to essentially loop again and keep looping until it finds at least one thread. Something like this would be nice. But that's a little bit more of a quality of life. So the big thing is once we find the threads, in order for us to do the memory, in order for the agent to start remembering stuff, so this is 8, cool threads 8. So let's try to increase the number to up to 10. So we can only scan up to 10 threads and then it tries to qualify them, essentially. It's almost like a lead pipeline. Supply exhausted. This is interesting. So we do have some regression, and let's go ahead and ask to see what's going on here. Because it's not really finding our threads. Are we on cursor? No. Let me go back to cursor so I can try to figure this out. So we do have the follow-up PR with the changes that it shipped. But for now, we want more interested in just polishing it a little bit. So check these logs and check our PM2 manager logs. Why is it not able to find any threads? Just says exhausted right away. Seems like a regression. Also, I feel like it should keep looping and searching until it finds at least one qualified thread. Can you investigate this issue? Don't change anything. I know, usually people like to type or to speak it. I'm just so used to typing that, I might save a couple of seconds by speaking it through, but I honestly enjoy typing. It's like, you know, it feels like you're doing it faster, but I'd like to definitely need to start doing more voice chat. So it's just gonna check the logs. This was more of an investigative thing. I'm not having it open any issues yet. I just want to investigate and see what's going on. Why is it not giving me the at least one thread? Because in my opinion, it should just do the search, let's say for 10 threads, and if it doesn't find anything, okay, it'll loop again and again, okay, up to 10 times. And if it doesn't find anything after 10 times, okay, we definitely have some issues in our pipeline. But this feels like more of like it just needs a little bit more time or more loops more steps to find the right threads. Meanwhile, while it's investigating this issue, let's go to our PR45. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's still waiting on a review there. We actually have our agent is a little bit busy right now, our review agent, but we're going to be doubling up the throughput tonight. So let me go back. Are we still in Cursor? Yes, we are. Okay. So what is it doing? It's still investigating, and so it came up with this. The root cause is not the search fail or an early board. X returned hits. Then the hard length / article filter wiped every candidate before triage. You're right. I mean, I understand. So in that case, we simply need to do another loop and do another search until we have some pass, right? So maybe we can ask it what it recommends. So what do you recommend to solve this? I feel like we should just if just keep looping and searching for more threads, especially if they get dropped early on. Yeah, so there's a couple options here. We can just keep looping and keep searching until we find more, or we can do like a bucketing approach where each step of the funnel is its own bucket. So you search through X and say you fill the first bucket with 5 or 10 threads that match your criteria, and out of those 10 threads, then you qualify all of them. And if after that you still have 0, then you have to go and loop again. Something like this would make work. Let me try to suggest this kind of solution. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do use voice. Okay, so I pretty much told it what I just told you guys. I said, let's use kind of a bucketing approach where we have the first bucket is just without LLM calls. We're going to qualify some threads. We're going to do a simple X search with some queries that the LLM might come up with, but then we're just going to simply qualify all these threads for free just based on the character length. For now, it's just based on character length. Maybe in the future it'll be something else, but we just qualify it based on that, and after we qualify based on character length, then we can actually go through the next bucket. So we're just kind of improving this a little bit. Let me look at our current PR. Do we have anything merged? We do. Oh, let's take a second. So we do have the abort signal listener typing in X search. That is a very small fix. It's just a 2-line diff. I'm considering just merging this right away without even waiting for the code review. If you guys see here, sometimes you don't really need a PR for everything. I mean, this is literally like replacing 2 lines. I am pretty sure we're not gonna need a code review for this. It's gonna be a waste of time. So let's just go ahead and merge this quick so that we're not wasting time. I mean, this is literally 2 lines, So this is one of those things that's good to merge. So now that this is merged and we are all clear to go, this issue should be closed. Now we have this new issue. This is the Scout hard filter bug in LLMs. And so now we're gonna go back to Cursor and implement a plan to handle this issue. So let's go into plan mode. So I just told it, let's go ahead and make a plan to make a PR or a stack of PRs to address the issue. It's just, it could really do it in the same prompt as the first one, but I like to separately make the issue, then make a plan based on the issue, and then execute the plan. It seems like it's the most straightforward approach because it gives the model a really good amount of context to make sure that it understands why you're doing this PR. It also has it properly scoped beforehand, and it gets to investigate the issue multiple times. So yeah, it's suggested that we just use a single Graphite PR to address this issue, which makes sense, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna build it right away because everything is merged already. So this is a little bit of a waiting game now. So it's going to create the one PR and it's going to just kind of redesign the bucketing approach for our scout a tiny bit. So this is some good progress. We're still kind of going towards implementing this memory layer, and I will be doing a little bit of front end polish off stream, but that's just nothing crazy. Besides that, we are doing the new bucketing approach so that we can actually get proper threads, because right now it seems like a lot are getting thrown out by the length filter. So this could be a nice little approach for this, and we're only doing 4 queries, so we're gonna fix that. Other than that, yeah, I think the next step, we already removed the drafting replies part. So it's just that we're not able to get any threads right now because our pipeline is just a little bit it's not optimized for this because we're throwing away most everything because of the length. And that's okay. That's still, technically maybe a feature, not a bug, because it is working according to our settings. So if you want to change this anyway, you can change the max characters or max thread characters to something higher. And yeah, we're not interested in X articles at all. I'm just not interested in spending time. The whole point of this Copilot is to speed up your workflow, not drag you down into just reading long threads. And also we have a little bit of we have a back button here, but yeah, the idea here is to make sure you're not wasting your energy interacting with stuff that's not going to help you. And just there's a lot of engagement stuff on X. Some stuff that I really don't like is every week I hear this Anthropic AI engineer released this Claude repo or something like this, something along those lines. Every week there's some other guy that created something else, and it's like, yeah, it looks nice on the surface. It definitely baits you, but at the end of the day, I've never found any of those things ever useful, so I try to avoid that. For me, it's a lot more interesting to share opinions and to just share tips and tricks and different methods, rather than just interacting with someone promoting their product. Anyway, we are moving on here. So we are building. Let me see. Are we in Cursor? I think we still are in Cursor. Yes, we are. So we're still. It looks like it did build it. PR47. Let's take a look. So I'm gonna switch to Firefox. This PR47. Here it is with the issue that's linked. Perfect. So this is a hard filter scout bucket before LLM qualified. That's good. So essentially, you're gonna fill this first bucket and then qualify. And then if that doesn't work, we have to loop again. This is pretty nice. This is a little bit of a diff, plus 200 lines or so. So this is definitely worth reviewing. Again, right now, our agent is a little bit busy but it's gonna pick this up very soon. And after tonight, we're going to improve the throughput by 2x, because right now we essentially have one lane, one instance of the agent. It's only able to process one review at a time. And speaking of review agents, again, guys, if you guys are interested in checking out Mergestorm, we are building Mergestorm as well. We're using this for all of our products, building anything. Essentially, we're dog fooding ourselves. And as you see here, we're still working on some stuff for Vortex, for Cyclone, and the cool part is, as we were working on these agents, they're actually reviewing their own code. And also, if you guys want some really nice reviews, you can use Tempest. Depending on your plan, these reviews are included. Tempest uses Opus 5, the latest one, Fable 5, and Kimi K3 is relatively cheap. So Kimi K3 is like the Fable, it's a distilled version of Fable. And so that's why it's 3 credits, relatively cheap. Maybe you have Silent 5 as well if you want just to keep it cheap and use a systematic. So this is gives you a more systematic review of your repos. So if you have a huge number of lines as a div, like a big feature that you're dropping, and you just want like a nice kind of check out on a big agent, something that more architecture wise, then this is a Tempest is a really good option to use. But we're really moving forward and doing quite a bit of improvements in the next couple of days to Mergestorm. But that's enough about Mergestorm. Let me see here with a PR. So we just opened a new one, right? 47? Yep, 47. And it's going to pick up the review soon. Let me check the Vortex lane. So it's one queued. So this is in queue right now. We'll handle this. This will get reviewed shortly. So in the meantime, we can still scope out another issue while this is getting reviewed. So let's go back to Cursor and see where we're at. So we just stuck with this one PR that we're waiting to merge. And let me see what the next logical step is for us. We're not really able to use the product too much right now because it's not identifying any threats for us, at least not consistently. It looks like it's completely dropping everything. So we're not able to move forward too much. But for the memory structure, let me think about this so that we can just kind of move forward a little bit. Let's start investigating the issue of how to detect what a user has responded and how can we do that automatically and then store that as memory. So let's just ask Grok and see what it thinks. So we're going to use Obsidian-based empty memory, and each time a user actually interacts with a thread, we want to record that as a memory, artifact, let's say. And the idea is, as we record more successful threads to user interacted memories, it should help the agent whether to search for other similar style threads or help it some way to qualify the threads. What are some options when it comes to this? I wanted to even run a small local vector search model so that we don't have to just inject every single memory into context. Do not change anything, just help me investigate. Okay, just something like this. A lot of typos, but AI doesn't care. As long as you kind of tell it along the line. So yeah, I'm just trying to understand what's the best path forward here. We're doing triage work, and it seems the memory part definitely should come after the user manual interact. So it says this: what to store per marked interacted? 1 note per interaction. So I'm already thinking the easiest way to kind of just get MVP going is every time you mark as interacted, you simply copy paste the response that you used into the Copilot. So later on, yes, we can do it automatically. We're going to find a way to do it automatically. But for now, just to get the basic MVP going, I think it's best to add this kind of layer. So just get this layer going. And what we're going to do is, first step, we're simply going to add an option to where you mark interacted, not even add as an option, make it a requirement. When you click mark interacted, okay, so let's get the first step of this memory layer done. We should just wire in the memory storage first, then we can do the memory retrieval logic later. So to keep things simple, let's raise an issue, and I want to adjust it so that when I click mark interacted, it asks me for a required input, which is the response that I actually typed into X. This will allow us to store this interaction, aka finding the thread plus user interacted. And later on, we can expand on this to do a pass to collect stats to see which interactions actually gain the most visibility. But for now, let's keep it simple, and we only want to properly store each memory, and I should be able to use Obsidian to explore the agent's memories. Let me see here. And the idea is the memory should live in a knowledge folder. And should we commit it? Yeah, I mean, we can commit. We're building in public, and I mean, do we want to commit it? We want to use Obsidian to interact with it. For Obsidian to explore with Obsidian, we would need to have it locally, but I don't really want to do it. Let's just not commit it for now. Knowledge folder that we do not stage or commit, because this is a memory folder, and obviously, you don't want my memories. If you're going to be cloning this repo, you don't care about my interactions. You want it built for yourself. So at the cost of a little bit of observability on localhost, we're just going to not worry about committing the repo. So this is just, I think, pretty good scope. So go ahead and investigate this and raise an issue with a proper plan for either a single PR, or likely this will need a PR stack via Graphite. Okay, so we're still moving forward here with the memory. As we planned earlier, we wanted to do this memory layer. Let me look at our I'll show you guys how our PR is doing. So it did get picked up by Vortex. It just took a couple of minutes. And again, we're tonight or tomorrow, this is going to be much faster. So we're doubling up the throughput. And once you start expanding this way, once you get double the throughput, it's so easy to just add a third and a fourth agent. So that's why it was important for us to kind of expand from a single instance to properly get all the layers set up so we could run multiple instances of Vortex, because right now Vortex is the bottleneck. We're still running a single Cyclone instance because Cyclone is relatively fast. A couple of minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes, bam, it's done. Vortex is the one that sometimes takes quite some time. But after this, once Vortex gives us enough throughput, if Cyclone is still the bottleneck, we can easily expand the Cyclone as well. So anyway, guys, it seems like it picked up a review. It got a couple of small issues. This is only 6 files changed, so it's nice. It's able to just review everything at once. Cyclone is going to do the patch, and we can move forward. Back to Cursor. We got the issue open, so okay, we're going to go right back to GitHub. We can just check out the issue that it's scoped out. I'm curious to see if it's scoped out a single PR or if it was a multiple PR. So Obsidian knowledge memory on Mark interacted. Storage only. Today, Mark Interactive only absorbs the thin, blah, blah, blah. Graphite stack. So it decided on a 2 PR stack for Graphite. We'll have the first one will add the knowledge folder. It will add the interacted stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then the second one is going to be probably the front end one. Yeah, reply before, some front end stuff with the API integration. Relatively clean, pretty simple. This will be a simple Grok plan. Now let me see the current open PR. What kind of files does it touch, and whether we can just open a second one in parallel. We could, or we could just wait a little bit. This attaches 6 files, mostly in the front end and a little bit of in the scout stuff. Let me see. What about this new issue? It looks like it's gonna touch a lot of files because it's 2 PRs and it's gonna be back end and front end. So I feel like it's a lot cleaner if we just let this PR churn, merge this, and then start on the next one. We could technically still parallel work this, but I don't. This is a pretty small PR, right? The diff is like what, 250 lines. That's not that bad, and we're pretty much halfway through already. If Vortex checks says all clear, I will merge this and move on to the next one. But if not, it might take a couple more minutes. Regardless, guys, I think it's been close to an hour, has it? Maybe not yet. Maybe we got a couple more minutes. But yeah, we started on the memory part now, and I'm pretty sure the Copilot should be a little bit better. Did we do we're still working on this bucketing filter so that we can actually grab a little bit more threads. So that's going to be a little bit. So we're doing some small updates to our product here so we can actually use it better, because right now it's not giving us any threads because our filters are a little bit too harsh, I guess. So it needs to do some more searching. And tomorrow we're going to continue to optimize the actual search algorithm, because right now it's just been vibe coded and haven't actually taken a look or investigated how exactly it's doing the search, because I'm sure we can find a better way to do this. And also we're going to be integrating the durable memory, and we need a proper pipeline for it to somehow grab the relevant memories or somehow use the memories to influence how it's doing the searches or what kind of threads it's looking for. So I think this is mostly it. Okay, let's see. Good timing here, 47. It looks like it did check off on everything, so we can merge this PR. Now this is the bucketing thing that seems like it already kind of works. So let's go back to cursor here, and I could just do this manually. Why not, right? So we're gonna just do git pull origin main. So we're gonna sync up, and then we're gonna do a PM2 manager restart production. So we're gonna restart the API, and finally I'm gonna go back here. Is cursor running this server? Yes, we can just start up ourselves. So we're just gonna start our own front end server just like this, and now we have everything running fresh. While it's fresh, we're gonna go ahead and make a plan. Please go ahead and no. It keeps restarting my Vite server. I already started it, bro. Come on, man. Let's go ahead. Sometimes it's really trying to fight you because it likes to own the Vite servers, but I like to just use it myself. So please go ahead and make a plan to properly address issue 48 with the 2 Graphite PRs. So since we already merged the previous one and we restarted everything, well, now let's see if it actually works. So let's go back to our page. And one sec, why is it not loading? Let me restart this again just in case. Because sometimes it doesn't like some things. Or better yet, we need to just redeploy the port. I mean, reopen the port. Sometimes the port gets messy. Okay, just a little bit of a delay. Okay, we should be good. Which page are we on? Let me switch back to our product page. And meanwhile, actually, let's go ahead and just fire off this plan so we can start building it. And let's move on back to our PR page right here. So it should be good now with the bucketing stuff. Let's go ahead and run this and see if we are getting more exposed. So again, this is not using the full height. There's a couple of embarrassing UI issues that we'll take care of, but this looks a lot better. Now we're actually getting something. So this is 40. I'm not even gonna bother with this. This is a 20. It's 23 hours ago. So this is 3 days ago. It's not great. Maybe this is why, but this is relatively recent. So let's open this on X and see what we get. In microsas, this guy is kind of replying to himself, which is not a great sign. I do that sometimes too, but it really doesn't help visibility. In microsas, shipping MVP is no longer the hard part. AI tools have compressed that phase dramatically. The real filter is whether early users can stick around and find enough value to keep using it without constant hand holding. So this is a different problem. This is a different problem. This is an interesting angle slash problem. Retaining users is a whole beast of its own. Also, but without distribution, you don't even have a chance to reach that optimization phase. If that makes sense. Guess what I'm trying to say is, right, getting these users, optimization, I'm not, bro, yeah. Optimization, and this says it's not right. Anyway, yeah, he's talking about how we've already solved building, but for him, he feels like a big filter is whether users can actually stick around. Personally, I do think it is a filter, but to get there, to be able to optimize for users sticking around, first you need distribution to even get users. So I mean that's a pretty good engagement, and we're interacting with someone who's a startup founder. So this is definitely a nice thing. I like this. It's a thought. It's a relatively low views, which is a good thing for us, actually. The lower the views, the better chance that we have to be seen by the author, engaged with, and maybe even followed. So this is a really nice opportunity that we did. So now we still haven't finished the Mark interacted part, but once that is done, the idea would be, oh, it looks like it already has it on a local branch. So here's the key. We're just gonna go ahead and paste this manually. I know this is annoying to do right now, but the idea is, for now, it's just manual. Later on, we can find a smart way, maybe using the X session cookie, look at the latest users' replies and match it to a thread or to the thread or something like this. And I'm sure there's an easy way to manually do this just by click of a button. But that's something we can save for next time. And let's go back to Cursor. I think it's been close to an hour, guys. We just pushed forward a good amount here. It feels good. We got the 2 PR stack. Yeah, this will take some time to review and merge everything. So I think this is a good spot to end the stream since it has been about an hour. Again, thank you guys all so much for stopping by and checking out this building. This is day 3 of us building the AI Copilot using Cursor, Mergestorm, and Graphite. So if you guys want to follow along, and if you actually want to use this, it's 100% free. You can check the description of this video for the GitHub URL. 100% free, open source. You just need a DeepSeek API key, which likely in the next video we want to make this 100% free. So we might actually use Gemini or some other free models. So again, thank you guys all for checking out.